I'm here with a Binturon, so it's like a bear cat. So those of you who know colleges, that's University of Cincinnati. I didn't even know something like this existed. So for me, this is unique and different. So since we're talking about uniqueness and being different, a Binturon is similar to what you're going to want to do when you go to college and if you want to get into college as a student, because a lot of the colleges these days are not just taking students because of their GPA or their SAT scores. They're looking at what makes you unique and different. If you want to be a dentist, for example, one of the best schools in the country is University of the Pacific in Stockton, because they have a great dentistry program. And if you're unique and different going into dentistry and you can position yourself, you can have a 3.6 GPA. You don't have to have a 4.0. So think about that approach on what you can do to make yourself unique and different. People who've been in the college world and they work in the admissions and the administrations of higher education don't understand this, because college is a business. They want the most unique students possible. Hey, there you go. Isn't this cool? So make sure you come to our workshops. Come see how we can help you, make you unique and make you stand out.
The best investment I had made was in College Planning Experts, because I am a university professor, my wife is a university professor, and since 1986, 25, 30 years, we've only worked at universities from the Ivy Leagues to the state schools throughout the United States. And College Planning Experts knows more about how the university system works through admissions and finances than we have ever learned in that time. And so the bottom line is I trust them, because I see the research that goes into what we've learned from them, and it's very impressive. And I think they're a great company, and they provide a great service, and I trust them entirely.
The benefit and why we're at 73 different high schools approved to speak has been because those counselors and the school administrators come from your viewpoint. They understand that they can't do it all, they don't know it all, they can't pretend to know it all. They seek out experts in areas that they are not an expert at. And that's why we have such a great success by me being successful helping our families that end up hiring us, because we know the counselors at that school that we work with do their part because we can't do that part. And then the counselors know the part that they can't do, they rely on us to do it. And that really, we've looked at our stats. Number one, it's increased high school graduation. It's increased kids going to college. It's increased their ratio from the school side on how many students actually go to a four-year school, which obviously statistics for the principals, those are important for them. So that's why they bring us, because they know we can increase graduation from persuading and motivating the parents that there's a lot of things they can do to get financial aid and they can send their kids to college. Chances are what we do is, one of the things that parents don't think is we can send a child to a private school for cheaper than a state school, and you're out in 4 years or less.
I know. That is probably one of the most misunderstood notions.
I really needed a network and a team that could support me. Everybody is an expert in their own field. They just paved me the way, it's just a complicated process. Parents can be very scared with this process. And it was the best investment because there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of questions and a lot of information that I didn't know how to deal with, so I think he's gonna be in a good school. He applied for 13 different schools. I'm sure he'll get to a good one.
I joined for my second child, didn't do it for my first. I'm sorry that I did not do it for my first. I think I made major mistakes on the financial aid application. And on my second child, I was now aware that we should be signing up or trying to get into private colleges. We already received one acceptance letter offering 50%. So we're very happy. And then she got to use these tools and pick different colleges that showed her things in the United States we would never have looked at. They gave color coding, what's your reach college, what's your safe college, and it was all very comforting.
things have changed dramatically, and what people need to realize is financial aid has changed dramatically too.
Sure.
There is a way to strategize to make your money go farther, but that's why you go to the people who know what they're doing. And that's the whole point of having trustworthy experts who can help you.
Yeah.
And hopefully your counselor can, aim you towards people, or if you are a counselor, just know that there are organizations and companies that you can trust so that you feel like you're not putting your little lambs out there for slaughter. But you need to do your research, and I did, and that is why I'm here.
I actually signed up with College Planning Experts after signing up with another company. And the reason I chose College Planning Experts is because I felt that the service was much more personable, and I really felt that they could give me the peace of mind that I was looking for in figuring out how to pay for college for my daughter. So the best thing I've received from them is the ability to know that I'm going to somehow figure it out and be able to do it for her. And so I really appreciate the fact that they are so knowledgeable and they're willing to share their expertise and help my family and I win this battle.
Find out why you're going to college. Start with why first. Find out what the student wants to do career-wise. Why are we even doing this? And then back into finding your majors based on the careers that you may be looking at, the majors, the schools, and start narrowing 4,000 schools and look at what schools the student would make a safety school, be a safety school, a core school, or maybe a reach school. And make sure you know that these are true safety safety core and reach schools, because you want to narrow down to about 8 to 10 schools ideally, and then from there you want to make sure financially it's going to make a good fit also, and what's going to be the least amount of out-of-pocket over this 4-year education, and that you're comparing apples to apples. Don't compare a state school at $20,000 a year to a tuition school of $50,000 a year. Really look at what the net cost is going to be. So that's a huge thing that you want to look at. Also, another thing that I hear is I get parents getting advice. This is just, I want to throw this out because I just got this a couple weeks ago. A family of ours, they came to me 2 years ago, and then they went to their financial advisor and their accountant. They did both. And their financial guy said, well, I can help you with this, and I can do the net worth of the FAFSAs and all of that. The financial guy went in and submitted the financial aid forms and put the client's net worth. The net worth was $1.5 million. And that was their 401k, their IRAs, their mutual funds, their CDs. And because the FAFSA, for example, he filled out, says, what is your net worth?
Right.
But he didn't go in detail and look at the instructions page on the FAFSA that says, under your personal net worth, you do not include your 401k, your IRAs, your home equity and things like that. But that guy didn't know. But because that financial advisor was that client's financial planner for about 15 years, the client trusted him and said, yeah, you can do it all. And then in the first year of getting in, they got zero money, and they had to borrow a $40,000 plus loan. And then they got they went to a workshop again after they saw me the first time. And when I went back and I looked at their FAFSA, I realized they had listed their net worth when they weren't supposed to. Just because a financial planner or an accountant or someone you're getting advice, it doesn't mean they're giving you real advice, because they think they understand what net worth means.
Well, they need to understand that the rules are different in this game.
Sure.
This is the college financial aid game. It's not the same as the real life financial aid game. And so I think that's why things that seem like common sense, you need to read the instructions. If this is your first time through, do not think you know.
Yeah, that's
because
huge.
like the whole thing about small businesses, you can ridiculously decrease your financial aid by not understanding how to report assets if you are a small business.
Sure.
Most small businesses I know have less than 100 employees.
Yeah.
And that's a very different FAFSA
Correct.
from someone who has more than 100. So
Sure.
it's just, these are the kind of things that you go to an expert for. You just need to make sure it's an expert in college planning.
I have the pleasure, and I would like to introduce to you my buddy Eli. And I've worked with Eli before. He's a lot of fun, and He's, as you can tell, he likes company. Eli here has gone through a lot of college himself, because he's sitting here still with me, and that takes some work, or I should say a lot of work, to get him to just sit like this. I just wanted to use that as an example that education is knowledge. Knowledge is power in life. And if you want to do anything you want, you have to have the proper education, and you have to be able to, surround yourself with the right people. So not anyone can train these type of animals or a chimp. And it's a privilege to be able to be with Eli here. And Eli has been a good buddy of mine. Huh, Eli? You my buddy? See, Eli knows how to do a lot of tricks. So you don't want to get in debt, right? So you do not want to get in debt. No. If you want to go to college, you don't want mistakes, right, Eli? You don't want to make mistakes. Nope, no mistakes, because mistakes mean you end up paying a lot of money for college. You gonna smile for me, Eli? When you go to college and you're successful, you're supposed to smile, right? Smile? Yeah, see, Eli is telling you that he's encouraging you to go to college. He's clapping for you. He's telling you that when you go to college, he's gonna clap for you. He's gonna want to see you be successful and get your first job and get paid well, right? When they go to college and they get a job, they make a lot of money, right? So you gotta clap for them. Yeah. Guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video with me and Eli here. As Eli has showed you that he has invested in coaches himself to be able to do what he does.
College planning experts have been an invaluable tool in our college process. We started early when she was a freshman, and Genesee and Brian were invaluable as far as giving us financial guidance and getting things in place. And now that she's a senior, Angela and others have worked with her and made her dreams come true.
Been very impressed with college planning experts. I just feel so much better because I know that someone's taking care of this and showing me the pitfalls before I step into them. We can count on college planning experts to do the best job.
With the help of a good counselor, school-based or otherwise, and the help of a financial advisor, working together, you can afford to go to college even if you don't think so. And I think that people need to understand that the more complicated your income is, the more you need that financial piece. If you're a low-income family, you need a straight form, you can probably do it without help. But if it's a little more complicated, if you've got a higher income, if there are asset questions, you need to go to someone who can help you with that. So with the help of your counselor and an expert in financial aid, together you will go to college, you will graduate, your parents will not be working till they're 90, and everyone's happy. So that's really what it's about.
I couldn't have put it any better than that. That's perfect. It's get your child the best college education at the best price so that you can also retire once you take care of that.
Right.
I think that's what the bigger picture is here. This is all the little things we've talked about.
That's right, and we all want the same thing.
Rain, thunder, or sunshine, you will get an education. These are the words that my mom would tell me every time I fed her about going to school in the morning. Now college is an actual possibility for my future, and I'll be the first in my family to take advantage of it. College Planning Experts has helped my family see that college is not only for those born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but for anyone willing to push themselves towards a better future. College Planning Experts has shown that college is not something for only those with a high income, but those who are willing to compensate and sacrifice for an investment that will change the lives of their children.
Angela's one who had suggested for Alex to apply for Stanford. I would have never in a million years have even thought that was a possibility for him. They have shown us that there is greater possibilities for him than we could have ever hoped for, where we thought just community college would have been the way to go.
the way we've always done things isn't always the best way. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that trusted teachers and counselors and parents have for their children has to do with the community college system. Many of them feel that this is a way to save money, and it was. But this is California, so if you're in California, you're dealing with a vastly overcrowded system, which now they're saying the average keeps going up. I mean, now some projections are it is 4 years before you can transfer.
Yeah.
The point of community college is to help prepare you for the 4-year experience. But I think that people need to understand that sometimes that's not the best avenue. And sometimes getting away and living in a college environment makes students more successful, and they finish sooner than going through the community college for sure. And if you looked at the years of lost income by spending 4 years in a community college and then transferring and maybe spending 3 more, is that really saving money in the long run?
Parents, this is a huge, I'm glad you brought this up. I talk about this at the workshop, that by default, because you look at a sticker price on the school brochures and you see tuition at $35,000 and you see tuition at $500 to $1,000 at the community college, you by default think community college is going to be cheaper. And that's what Linda's talking about, that community college is right for a certain type of student, but it's not a cookie cutter that immediately, because you think it's too expensive and you haven't planned for this, that your default should be community college. And it is true that it's taking 4 years just to get 60 units to be able to transfer. And then another 3 years, you're at 7 years in college, and you said a huge amount of that percentage won't even get to that point. But if they do, they've lost 4 years of income because they thought they took the cheap route, and later they realized that it ended up costing them more money, more out of pocket, and so much more expenses. I call them intangible expenses that they don't see right now, that's awaited to happen in a couple years.
Right.
Whereas if they would have got straight 4 years, they're surrounding themselves with like-minded kids, because they say the power of association is you surround yourself and you're going to be the average of 5 of your friends. And I tell my students, if you're hanging around with losers, well, guess what? You're going to be a loser. I hate to be the first to say it. I had friends like that, and I detached myself from that environment. And it's your responsibility as a student and parent to put yourself in the environment that you want to be, that's going to help you prosper and be able to allow you to achieve your college dreams and to be able to get you that job that you probably wouldn't have had because you went to a 4-year school, that the professors had connections with the organizations, that even that, they say it's not who you are, it's who you know, and it's just, or who knows you. You have to put yourself in that environment, and that's why people go to a 4-year school, and they're not paying more, they're really investing in their kids' future, and
Right, and a couple of important points. A lot of people go to community college because they don't know what else to do, so they're a little aimless. And when you're in a classroom situation, the dynamics of that course and your enjoyment level sometimes has to do with the engagement of the students around you. And if you're with a lot of people who are just there because they don't know what else to do, it changes your experience. It is not the same.
I've done some cool stuff, but this probably is the coolest thing I've ever done. To be in an environment to teach you about getting into college, getting free money, and showing how to pay for it, you gotta, face the fears. If you look behind me, you see Major here. Major is a celebrity lion. He's been on a lot of featured Hollywood movies that you probably have seen. There are people out there that can help you. There are things you can do to get into college, get free money. We initially look at this lion and go, there's no way we can be in front of a lion. But if you really want to do anything you want, like Steve here and the organization that's here that we're at, trains the most craziest animals that we're going to see today, and the first one for this day is the lion here. So I love lions. I love the aggressiveness. I've taken action helping so many families, and hopefully you're going to do the same, and hopefully this lion is a sign for you to let go of your fears and know that anything you want to do, there's people out there that can help you challenge that.
I
actually sought out college planning experts, and I came across College Planning Experts, and I was so happy I did because I don't feel like I'm alone. I feel like there's somebody there guiding me and helping me through everything. The thing that saves me a lot of time is knowing that College Planning Experts is doing all the research for me. So if I forget something, I know that they have it handled, and I feel like I'm in good hands. So from everything from college planning, as far as what schools would be good for my daughter, to financial help, to everything in between, they cover the whole gambit. I can feel good knowing that I'm doing everything the right way, and if I have any questions, they're always open to answer any questions I might have. So from every aspect, I think this was one of the best decisions I ever made. I know I'm doing the right thing for my daughter and for myself. I'm doing this all by myself, and it's not easy. And if I didn't have them, I think I would be a nervous wreck 24 hours a day. So thank you, College Planning Experts. Thank you for being there for me and my daughter Jeannie. We know we're in good hands. It's the best decision that I've made.
The majority of school counselors, embarrassingly, have no idea how to do this, to do a financial aid appeal. They have no idea. It's not something we're taught. We're not taught it unless you went through a special, like I went through a college counseling certificate program that said a little bit about it, but a lot of what I've learned is through my own on-the-job training, which most counselors are too busy to do. I just made time for it, and there are other counselors who, usually through a particular student that they really cared about, they learned about the process, but most counselors, they just don't have time to do this, or they don't know what to do, or a combination of both.
Sure.
So you can't just go in there with sit down with the counselor and expect the counselor to do this. This is not really a part of a school counselor's job description. Even the worksheets that you find online or in college planning books have you comparing tuitions. I throw those out. I don't even want my kids looking at that. Stop comparing tuitions, because you cannot compare sticker price. You have to compare financial aid. You know, what's the average financial aid award for this school versus that school? How much percentage of need can they meet? Those are the questions you need to ask, not what is your tuition.
Yeah,
and I think
important.
that is one of, probably the number one misunderstood thing about looking for a college. Because one of the problems with the net price calculator being out there is that some of them are really good and other ones only look at such basic things.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing a family needs to understand is, what is our EFC? What is our estimated family contribution now, like in 9th grade? So we won't be shocked in 12th grade because it's probably not going to change that much.
As a parent, I was so frustrated, and very confused about a college application and financial aid and so forth and so forth. However, with the college planning expert help, I know for sure what is my son's goal, right? And also I know my son much better, I'm so glad that I'm a member of the college planning expert, because they show me very important how to invest in my son's future. That's the biggest investment in my life. Okay? They show me how to relax, because they take care of all the application process, financial aid, and whenever I have a concern, I always be able to call them, set appointment, and I always have a full explanation. So I'm totally focused on my own work and let the expert take care of my son and my school. And that's it. I'm so glad I did that. The college planning expert was the best investment made by me and my wife. And I share with you why. Because I can tell you that, my son was offered a 4 years a guaranteed scholarship of $26,000 a year. And now I get it back total $104,000. And that's the biggest investment, financially in my life. And I can challenge it. Anybody can invest better than that, Then also the investment in my son and and his future, So number one, I got the best investment financially, and I have an expert help me, and to invest in my son. That's the best. And lastly, and I would like to tell you this, my son would like to go further after 4 years, so I will continue with the college planning expert.
College Planning Experts was definitely the best investment I ever made. At the beginning I thought, do I really want to spend the money? I can do this myself. And I can tell you, once I started the process with my daughter, it was shocking how difficult applications have become to go to college. And also I ended up having my department closed to where I was working. And so now I have the benefit of all the recommendations and all the counseling that the experts can give me and my daughter, and I have complete faith that she's going to get into one of her colleges, and I couldn't have done it without them. Thank you very much.
This is just overwhelming for me, if you can tell. I'm here in front of probably a 400-pound bear talking to you about how to get your kid into college and how to make the cost affordable. So let me give you a tip here. So if you want to get into college, it's really important to understand how expensive it's going to be, how big it is, that cost if you don't have the proper help. Just like how big this bear is. I mean, look at him. He's just huge. So imagine if you don't have the proper tools and guidelines to get into college, and what you're going to need to do and how you're supposed to take control about this college process, just like how this bear is doing. I'm going to show you how you can get your kids into college, get you free money, show you how to fund for it, so that way you're not overwhelmed, you're not stressed, you have that peace of mind knowing that you can make your kid's dream come true. The power of association plays a huge role in anything you want to do. It's not always who you are, it's who you know. And I've been blessed to have the most amazing people in my life and be able to help people that I've never been able to help before. So as you can tell, Keith here and Steve and these amazing guys that allowed us to be here today to be able to film this, it just proves to you that anything that you want to do, if you want to get the best education and be at the best place, you got to work with the best people. And this, I would never be able to be here in front of the lion or in front of the bear feeding them donuts if you didn't have the proper training. So you got to have the proper training too if you want to go to college, if you want to be successful. So why don't you come join us, and hope to see you at one of our workshops or one of our events.
Mainly, school counselors have many jobs and duties and things that we have to do, and it's very difficult to stay on top of what's out there and to expect counselors to be able to sit down. I'm at a relatively small school. I've got 1,060, which for LA Unified is smallish. I've got a senior class of about 250, but can I sit with 250 children and their parents and go through every form? I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good. I can't give each one the attention I want to, and that's only the seniors. I mean, what about the underclassmen who need guidance? So I have to have sources outside of myself that I trust that can be helpful.
Sure.
So the reason why I'm here is because I believe that my endorsement means something, because I'm picky. I feel that I can say to the counselors and parents out there, I trust this company. I don't think they're going to rip you off. I think they're going to help you move forward. I don't think you're going to be sorry at all. And I don't say that easily. And I just want to make that point because that's important. I have integrity about this thing. I really care about my kids, and I care about kids that aren't mine. I help kids that don't even go to my school because they don't have resources.
I first heard about College Planning Experts in a letter in the mail. Wasn't sure about it, but took the risk, went to the meeting, and been very happy ever since. They've showed us how to plan out our child's finances for college, taken the steps and made it really easy for us, given us peace of mind on getting ready for college. And I don't think we could have done it on our own, or at least would have done it as easy as they made it for us. So we're a big supporter. We're looking forward to bringing our next child into the program in about 4 years.
When I first went to university a long time ago, the application process, the financial aid process was really straightforward and pretty simple. Now it's gotten infinitely more complex, and I'm not sure that folks my age who are sending their kids to college understand just how complex the process has gotten, how many more options there are, and how many ways you can really mess yourself up. So we have really relied on CPE to be guides for us through that process, just as we would employ a tax preparer to help us with our taxes because they've gotten more complex, or a financial advisor to help us with more complex investments. We're relying on CPE to help guide us through an increasingly complex college application and, of course, funding process.
The earlier you can get an idea about what you're eligible for, the better. But it's not too late. I mean, there are things that you can do at the last minute, but just like anything else, it's so much better if you can do it ahead of time and plan for it and be ready and be prepared.
And I talk about it at the workshop. I go, if you think about going on a vacation, if you plan this out a year in advance and you start booking your airfare a year in advance versus booking your airfare 1 week before the vacation, chances are 9 out of 10 times you're going to get a better airfare if you've booked it in advance. It's funny how if you go on an airplane and you talk to every single person there and ask them how much you paid for that seat, you'll probably get different amounts. And the ones that paid less, it's usually because they booked it in advance, unless there was one of those last-minute travel agency discounts where they're like, okay, we can fill some seats and we're going to give you a discount.
That's luck.
But exactly. So in the college planning world, it's the same. If you are going to wait to the last minute, well, I hate to be the first to say this. I've been told to be I'm the professor of harsh reality, and I just tell people the way it is. I have no filter. And the reality is, parents plan ahead. Don't wait to the last minute. By planning, you will save a lot more money statistically versus waiting to the last minute and trying to do this last minute. Because by doing it last minute, you have less time. You're trying to put things together in such a small amount of time, and the error rate is going to be a lot higher because you're doing it last minute. So another advice is start as early as 9th grade in this entire college planning process.
Right. And parents who have started a college fund when their child was an infant had no clue tuition was going to do what it has done.
Sure.
If your child was born 18 years ago, what was college tuition 18 years ago? That was around the goal, probably. Well, things have changed dramatically, and what people need to realize is financial aid has changed dramatically too.
Sure.
There is a way to strategize to make your money go farther, but that's why you go to the people who know what they're doing. And that's the whole point of having trustworthy experts who can help you.
Yeah.
And hopefully your counselor can aim you towards people, or if you are a counselor, just know that there are organizations and companies that you can trust so that you feel like you're not putting your little lambs out there for slaughter. But you need to do your research.
Hey, this is Brian Safdari from collegeplanningexperts.com, America's leading authority on college planning. I have here my man, Jonathan Sprinkles. He's spoken more on the college market than anybody out there.
I like to surround myself with the very best, bottom line. And in my opinion, this is the '1 guy who represents the '1 brand. For all the people out there who are looking to send their children to college and whose lives can be changed by higher education, this is the person to talk to. He's the one that I recommend all of my people to, regardless of what their income level is. In just 3 minutes, he taught me more about the way that college is run, the system, and how to get your child into a college based on the system that already exists, and use it in your favor instead of how many people have it used against them to get yourself in when normally people are being counted out. Just the stuff that he taught me in 3 minutes blew me away, and since then I've been a faithful follower.